30 minutes equals 30 days of content. So I'm going to be going over the sequence that I've used, that I'm continuing to use. And full disclaimer, this is something that I've had the concept of for a little while now this year, but as far as actually executing it, I have really only been doing that for a little bit. So once you have the workbook, does everybody have the workbook? Everybody's good to go? Cool. Yeah, so like I was saying, this is something I've been running and I'm starting to really understand and get into the rhythm. So I'll be sharing some real application and really getting this started and how you can get into the flow. But I will say when you first start, it's going to be maybe a little tough, but it makes a big difference because it is actually getting us leads and it's actually gotten us some sales. YouTube in particular is responsible for over $100,000 in sales since we started, which we started doing YouTube in 2024, and it's brought some really strong leads and some strong opportunities our way. And so creating video is really the way to go. And that's been the case for a while, but we have a real opportunity here to leverage the tools that are available to produce at a consistent level. So let's talk a little bit about why this matters. Of course, the way that people find businesses has changed a lot. It used to be about ranking in SEO, and SEO still has its place, but now a lot of search is headed over to AI. But AI doesn't really know your business. It only goes and retrieves your business because for most of us, our business isn't big enough to actually be in AI's training model. So that's what we've got going on. But where AI looks is they're looking in all of these other sources, YouTube, social media being some of those sources. But the other problem that we're facing is with AI, generic content is about to become infinite and worthless because anybody can just create a ton of posts and it's just out there, but the quality is very low. So producing video content is one of the ways to stay authentic, but also have posts that are coming from you and not just from some algorithm. So we want to really get ahead of the trust erosion problem that we see with social media because there's a lot of AI content, there's a lot of AI posts, and we want to beat that back. And this is a great strategy to beat that back while also having a lot of impressions on your target audience. We already know that we need to show up and we need to get in front of our audience. So the idea here is that one recording, which is about a 30-minute video, 20 to 30 minutes, is going to allow you to have about 10 clips or more, which I'll show you how to produce, which you can then use to turn into 30 days worth of content. So you can put this content out on Facebook and Instagram Reels, which is, of course, what I recommend. You put on LinkedIn, you can put it on TikTok. You can even turn them into newsletter content or blog posts for your website, but it's content repurposing is really what we're talking about here. But you didn't have to sit there and write all of that out because that's too cumbersome and it takes too much time. Video content, like I said before, it's very important because AI does not rank businesses. Whenever somebody is saying rank in AI, it's not quite accurate. The real term is get mentioned by AI because AI doesn't rank a business. It just goes out and tries to find one, tries to act like a person in that respect. And so you just want to show up in a lot more places and be active in a lot more places. And generic content is now worthless, like I mentioned before. The third part is people need to actually know what you really do because people know your title and people may know, oh yeah, he owns this or he does this or he does this. But as far as what you really do, oftentimes the only time you get to say that to anybody is when you're sitting in front of a person ready to sell them, or you're talking to someone one-on-one. But when you produce a video, that gives people an opportunity to learn that from you without you having to be in front of that person every single time. And so video, in a sense, clones you and gets you in front of more people in that way. And it helps them understand what you actually do because we need to be able to separate ourselves from our competitors. And video builds trust. One thing that actually Juan and I were talking about is when it comes to communication, let's say you send a text to somebody or send an email to somebody, you're only doing about 20% of communication when you send an email. When you talk to somebody on the phone, you're doing more. Let's say you're doing 50%, right? But the other 50% comes from people seeing your body language, seeing your mannerisms, being there physically with you, that's a big part of communication too. And so video helps with a good part of that, which helps to build trust the fastest, faster than any other medium. Also, I don't know when the last time anybody went a whole day without seeing some kind of video content on their phone. I can't remember the last day that's happened. It's been years, which is crazy, unless you did like a nature retreat and you just like left your phone at home. But the idea is to record once and post everywhere. So video is the best way to do that. I sent out a newsletter yesterday that talked about the impressions that you need on average across every single industry, every single type of business. On average, you need about 3,000 impressions to get an inquiry from somebody. Now that can be lower for you, that can be higher for you. And then after that, depending on your close rates, you're looking at about, I don't know, on average, 30% of people that will inquire with you will actually become a customer. But the name of the game is you just need more impressions on more people. That shakes out to about either 10,000 to 12,000 impressions to get an actual sale. So we can see what our estimated numbers are. Of course, you want to reverse engineer these numbers for yourself, but the name of the game, you need more impressions in more places. So if you want to take some notes, just take some time to really think about, where do your best fit customers actually live? Like, where are they spending most of your time? Where do you want to put most of your time? Now, it's true that you could say, oh, all of these, right? But to get started, you really just want to build on a couple of good platforms and get those built up. For the vast majority of people, it's going to be Facebook and Instagram. And then for B, it's going to be LinkedIn. YouTube is also great right now for surfacing new creators. So it's the best time ever to start a YouTube channel because they will actually promote you. Whereas in the past, it was really hard to get started. Yeah, just think about what platforms you need to show up on. So moving on, this is another very important prep step that you should be aware of when it comes to making all of this work. You want to build what's called your company context. So you need to understand, what are the services that you offer? What are your top three? What are the biggest problems that your customers come to with that you end up solving? What's your unique point of view? What are your perspectives? How do you see the problem? How do you see your industry? You really want to write all of that down. And then the questions that you get asked over and over and over again, what are those? Now, it is true that this is just a starting point, because to be honest, your company context is actually much bigger than this. It actually should involve when you got started, the name of your company, your best customer story. You want to put as much information about what you do and your business into this, because that does help produce much better results. But if you take some time to fill this out and then maybe even think of some other questions that would be helpful, all of that feeds what we're going to be doing later. Because the more quality you put in and the more context you put in, the better results you'll receive and the less generic results you'll receive. So very important step. This is the difference between going into ChatGPT and saying, write me a post, versus actually getting it to try and speak and talk like you. So that's a really important step here. Kind of moving on down. Once you have your context, now it's okay, what do I actually record? What do I actually put together here? Really, these are some good starting topics. I had the privilege to get interviewed by a pretty big YouTuber named Wes McDowell. And I spoke with him. He's got over 400,000 subscribers. And he was giving me a lot of great advice. And he told me, he said, hey, when you first start on YouTube, people don't know you, and you can't just go in with like all these opinion or reaction videos. But you always want to start off with how to do something or what something is. So this is what we call foundational content. So what is X? How to do X? What to expect with XYZ? You just want to go ahead and create those type of videos first. After that, then you can move into something like lists and roundups. And then you can get into things like expert opinion. But you should do it in that order. You shouldn't just start making content about, here's why you should never do this, here's why you aren't getting this, and you don't want to start there, because people don't know you. You don't have really the backed up proof or audience of how do we know that you know what you're talking about? Now, if you already have a reputation and you're already famous, then yeah, you can get away with that because you just come out the gate. You already have reputation built elsewhere. But if you're just starting and you're not known as well, the foundational content, great way to get quick views and subscribers on YouTube. You will just see people see your stuff and they're just finding it. You didn't even have to promote it because these are very high demand topics, right? But yeah, you want to go in this order. And then the last one, which is also very important, when you get a bit of an audience, you definitely want to bring on guests. Guests are amazing. They're actually one of the hacks to building your following because you're helping them out by putting them on your platform and getting them video content and getting them to speak, but then they're helping you out because you're exposed to their audience too. So bringing on guests is a very important part of the puzzle as well, but just give it a little time before you do that also. And yes, David asked, would you ever do YouTube shorts without these shorts being part of a longer form video? Yes. That's another thing you can probably ask to your favorite like LLM to get ideas, because the easiest way is to, of course, just put the clips out from the long form video, because then you just record once and you put it out there. But it does bring up a lot of traction if, let's say that you plan all of your topics here that we're talking about, and then you answer each one in a short, but you still have the long form video, but the shorts are slightly different. You can get very good mileage that way. One thing that YouTube does that TikTok used to do back in the day is when you post a short, you'll probably get a few hundred views, even if you're a brand new creator, because they just want to get that new creator out there. So posting shorts is a huge part of the process. But yeah, you can certainly record them separately, but shorts are best when you just answer one question. The long video is where we're talking about multiple things, but the short should just answer one question. Right here, I've got a prompt. So when you're in the workbook, you can just copy and paste this and just change it slightly. What you want to do is you put your context sheet in there and some information about your business, and then just go ahead and paste it. What it'll do is it'll try and build out 15 to 20 ideas to serve as a good starting point. And if you don't like the idea, just ask it to give you some more. But you can write all of this down and then just say, okay, this is where I can start. And that's when we get to the next part, which is probably the hardest part. And that's understanding the tools and then actually recording the video. The hardest part of all of this is just recording the actual video. So anyway, be sure to use that and put in some topics and questions, but I'll go ahead and start talking about the different tools. So there are a million tools out there. There's so many, but these are the ones that I've used, and these are the ones I feel are the best when it comes to you're busy, you've got a lot going on, you're running a business, but you still need to get this content done. First is the camera. So a lot of people will ask me, okay, does that video need to be perfect? Does it need to be high quality? Does it need to be professional? The answer is no, because again, think about all of the videos that you see every day on social media. I'd wager that 9 out of 10 of them are not professional unless they're an ad. They're mostly just somebody with their phone that's recording, and then that video has millions of views. It's all about the authenticity and what you're saying, not the production quality. Now, if you can get great production quality out, go for it. But the key is, can we do that consistently? Can we do that once a month, every single time? You probably can. And if so, that's awesome. Like I said, go for it. But I would strongly suggest, if you don't have the equipment, use your phone, because most of the phone cameras are excellent anyway, or use a webcam. I have a DSLR. I've been using that for my YouTube videos and it works pretty good, but sometimes I'll just use this webcam here. It's a lot faster. For recording, I would strongly suggest OBS. It's free and it's one of the best. It's really cool. You can customize it really well, but yeah, it doesn't cost any money. You have it on your computer. You can set up your scene. So I like to record my screen, and then I like to have a little box of me in the corner, and you can do that on OBS like pretty quick. So I would say that's a great software to use. There's also Loom, which Loom is a paid tool, but it's very convenient. and it's very easy to share videos with somebody because you record it and then you just get the link. You can also download it and put it on YouTube. And then there's Riverside. I haven't used Riverside, but I know people that do use Riverside, and it's really great for guests. So when you bring on a guest, you can have them, you can have yourself. Riverside is excellent for that. It's a great recording tool as well, but it is a paid platform. Next thing is, and this was a lifesaver for me, and this is an incredible tool. It's called Descript, and it's for video editing. And this is what it looks like. Descript is amazing because it makes editing video so fast. So all you do is you take your video, your raw video, you upload it, and then it transcribes it. So this is all of the text that I said in the video. To edit the video, all I do is click on the word and delete it, and it takes the clip out of the timeline. So I don't have to go in and do cuts in the video or try and listen where I measured something up. I literally just remove the word and it's gone out of the video. It's one of the handiest tools. And then the other part, it has a lot of automatic settings you can do. So you can remove filler words. So a lot of the ums and the ahs it will take those out instantly. You can remove retakes. When you're recording, you should try and record on one long continuous video. Try not to split up your recording into multiple clips, because this can remove retakes. So if you mess something up, just pause and say it again, and it will find the best version of that automatically and take out the rest. One of the handiest tools I've ever seen. There's other things in here too, like big gaps in between words where you were thinking. It'll cut that out automatically. And then it will clean up the sound. There's a lot of tools it can do, but Descript is amazing. Last thing is there's this thing called Underlord, and it's their agent. It's not perfect, but you can get it to do some pretty cool editing. You can go in there and you can say something like, add a title to the beginning of this video, and then every time I say XYZ, add words underneath me saying it. Something like that, and it will go through and it will do its best to make that happen. So this will save you a ton of time in editing your videos. Now the videos, some people get some really awesome looking edits to come out of this. That's not me. I don't know. I'm not a Descript expert, but I do know how to take out all of the fluff, get it to be very precise, cut really well, and get it on YouTube. I just did a video yesterday, like I recorded it yesterday, and it's already ready to be uploaded to YouTube today. But Descript is amazing. I would highly recommend it. There's other video editing tools, but this is the easiest and most user-friendly. Next up is clipping. So when you actually have your video done and edited, it's time to actually clip it. And that's what Opus Clip does. Opus Clip, it's a paid tool as well, but it's very inexpensive. And you add that video in and it's going to make clips. And this is where you get all of those clips for social media. It tries to rank them with a virality score. And so the higher the number, the more they think that it will resonate when you post it. Now, it's not perfect, right? Sometimes the clips are a little wonky, they're a little strange. So what you can actually do is you can go back and you can re-add the video again, and it'll give you a different set of clips. So you can keep reusing it over and over. But all of these are downloadable, and you take these and then you can put them on social. It also gives you the transcript for each short clip as well. And then after that, you want to have your favorite LLM, Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, whichever. They'll all do pretty good. I prefer Claude. I think Claude does the best job, but you can use whatever you want. And then use to schedule all of this out. You can use Go High Level, but you also have Metricool, Hootsuite, Buffer, Later. There's so many social media scheduling tools that you can use to get this content out there. So that was a rundown of all of the tools. When it comes to how you set up, try to film your videos like this picture right here. Try to be in the center frame, try to be chest up, and that just ends up being the best when it comes to getting the clips out of Opus Clip. I made a big mistake where I was like down in the corner, and you can actually see that in some of the clips in here where I'm down here. And that's okay. They tried to do their best, but sometimes it cuts off what you're talking about or messes some things up. So try to just be center frame, talking directly to the camera if you can. As far as what to know when you're recording, first I'll say this, and it's not even on here, but I will say your first video will not be perfect. It's just not. It's going to probably seem awkward. You're probably going to think that it's a little weird, but it's not going to be perfect. But you should still post it. You should still post it. My first video, it was me. It was so dark. It's still on my YouTube channel, but it was dark because it was like night. And the glow of the screen was shining on my face. And I'm just in the corner, real small, talking about how to optimize a Google business profile. But that got me kicked off. And we actually got someone to reach out from that video. But it was like a 40-minute video too. But you just have to get something out there. So it's not about being perfect. If you look at it's not about being perfect, and it's also not about going viral. You're not trying to get a bunch of views. You're not trying to get a bunch of subscribers. You're trying to get the right people viewing your stuff, right? If you go, I just want to say, just say that. You just have to get it out there. It's not going to be great, but you'll get better over time. The other things to know, talk to one person. When you're on camera, talk as if you're speaking to a person across the table from you. Don't talk to an audience because you're not on a stage. You want to say the question first a lot of times, if you can remember, because Opus Clip is going to pick that up as the hook for your video. You want to pause in between points just a little bit because like I showed you in Descript, it'll pick up those pauses and it'll be a cleaner cut between words. You want to keep it to one idea per segment. So just try to stay very focused. It's best if you just have a paper with bullet points that you can just glance at occasionally. Keep your energy up too. Try not to slump or be like kind of low-eyed or anything. And again, it's not as important at the beginning, but act engaged. Don't fake it. Don't act like you're some crazy YouTuber shouting at the audience, but just try to keep your energy up. And then done beats perfect. Like I said, if you stumble, if you say something wrong, just stop and restart the sentence again. It can all be cleaned up later. And then please try not to do multiple clips for one video because the editing is way harder than if you just had one long video. So going through, let's look at the full monthly process. First thing, like we said earlier, is you want to prep. So get your context, get your ideas, get everything ready to be able to do the video recording. The next thing is actually sit down and record it. I'm going to share with you something else that Wes McDowell told me. The best way to get this recording done, you have to block it off on your calendar. He recommended if you want to grow a YouTube channel that you have to do one video a week. Now, that's not what we're talking about here because it does take some practice to get into that flow. But the only way you're going to do it is you have to knock everything out at one time. So let's say you were doing 4 videos. You sit down, you block off, let's say every third Thursday of the month is your video day. You need to block off a few hours every third Thursday, and you need to do all 4 videos at one time. It's the same with this. We're only talking about one video. So you need to mark it in your calendar and say, okay, this day, whatever day it is, first Monday, third Wednesday, that's my video day. I'm going to sit down. I already have my prep. I already know what I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to sit down, turn the camera on, and I'm actually going to talk for 30 minutes, and then I'm going to hit stop because I've got the recording. You just have to pre-plan it. It's not successful if it's impulsive. You have to have it on your schedule because that's how you stay consistent. And we're only talking about one time a month. But right after that, take that video file, get it on your computer if it was on your phone, and then throw it you can clean it up. There's plenty of tutorials. And if you have questions, you can ask me about Descript, but there's a few buttons, just a few button clicks will get your video like 80% ready just with those clicks. You just do the other 20% and you'll be ready to post. After you're done, what you want to do is you actually want to upload the long form video first. So take that full finished thing, put it on your YouTube channel. If you don't have a YouTube channel, just set one up. It's pretty quick. You can get verified to where you can upload custom thumbnails, but get it on YouTube. If you start with foundational content, someone will absolutely find your video and watch it. But yeah, put the long form up. Sometimes you can even take the full long form video and put it on your Facebook as well, because Facebook can do well with long form, or LinkedIn. So I would consider doing that as well. After that, you take the YouTube link or the raw video file and get it clipped up in Opus Clip. You actually just can put the YouTube link right here and it'll take it and it'll give you the clips, and then you'll have something like this. And you can do one or two different things, and so that you can get a different variety if you didn't like the first set of clips it gave you. Next up is writing posts with AI. That's what we're going to talk about down below on the next page, because Descript gave you this full transcript. So you just copy the whole thing. Let me see if I can. Yeah, you just select all to copy it, and then you give it with this prompt, and it'll create all of your posts. And then you schedule it out, get it scheduled in advance. Sit there for the video is 30 minutes, but then the actual processing and scheduling will probably take you about another hour, maybe an hour and a half. So about 2 hours in a month total, maybe a little longer on your first time, but you'll have content to last you for quite a while. But Go High Level is just one. There's so many social media schedulers. Just type in social media scheduler and you'll find one. Pick one that best fits, because there's dozens and dozens. And then there's one last thing that I'm going to tell you about that actually is how you grow your following, and that is to monitor and boost the winners. So I've been teasing about this on the newsletters, but when you post content to Facebook and Instagram, there's this thing, and you may or may not have seen it, especially if you run ads. There's the business manager in Facebook, Meta, and they have a section where you can see how all of your content has performed for your pages. Now, if you're uploading one or two clips every week, which is what I'd say is a good place to be, at least one, you'll see how they all performed over the last week. You want to wait 30 days. You want to get to after a month and then take a look at the performance, and then I'll tell you what to do from there. But this just involves which clips actually got engagement and people actually watched. How do we get those to more people outside of our page? So we're going to be talking about that here in just a second. Moving on down, this is how you make YouTube thumbnails look really good, really fast, because that's another thing. If you're trying to get attention on YouTube, the thumbnail is huge. The thumbnail is what people click on. That's what gets people to watch your video. This is a cheat sheet to get a quick thumbnail made without having to be good at Canva or without having to know of any of that stuff. Eventually, you'll hire somebody and pass this off to someone else. But this is a great way to make thumbnails. So I've actually got it pulled up here in ChatGPT. You have to use ChatGPT to do this. So what I did was I uploaded a picture of myself. I put in the two colors that I wanted, and then I pasted right here. This is the transcript. So this is the actual, all of this content right here. And I gave it this prompt, which you'll find in the document right here. Just replace it with what you need it to. But I said, here's a transcript. Give me 5 different angles for this video, include these words, blah, 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 blah. And it gave me 5 options, right? So it's the same picture, but it just gave me some variations. And I just chose which one. And then I didn't like those. So I said, hey, give me 5 more. I want to see 5 more. And it gave me some other options. So it's very effective, and it takes care of your thumbnail thing really quickly. So definitely use that. Make sure videos look really cool, makes them get the click. And like I said, even if the video is not crazy with the editing and all of that, it's about what you say at the beginning. So definitely use this. It's a very interesting prompt. This is where you'll find the prompts that will actually create the post for you. So just copy and paste them, put in your company context, and then paste in your transcript from your video. So after it's edited, ready to go, take that out of Descript, paste it there, and then give it this prompt. And it's going to give you a table. And that table is going to be, here are all of the posts that you can post about. It's going to give you posts with clips, and then it's going to give you posts by themselves. But all in all, you should have a lot of content that you can post to social media. Of course, you can refine this. If you don't like something, just change it or modify it yourself, which I always recommend you get your hands dirty and actually change some of what it gives you. But for the most part, this gets you a lot of really great ideas really fast, all based on the video that you just did. From there, you just sit down, batch all of it in your social media scheduler tool, add your pictures, add your clips, get it all scheduled for the next 30 days so you don't have to think about it. You can do And it depends on how many clips you end up using, but you can do let's say you do 2 posts a week. I think that's the minimum you should go for. One is a clip, one is an actual text post. But if you wanted to do 3, 4, the more you do, the more impressions you're going to get. So I would just say, try and schedule out as much as you can and be good until next month. Don't look at it until next month. So let's talk a little bit more about the monitoring piece. So in the Meta Business Suite, like I said, and I don't have it logged in on here, otherwise I would show it to you, but all of the content that you post, all of the reels, all of the videos you put up, they will have a view count if you're in your Meta Business Suite and you go to the content tab. Look at the ones that got higher than normal engagement, because when you start, most of your videos are probably only going to get maybe 50 views on Facebook, maybe 100. Depends on how many followers you have and a bunch of other stuff. But it is the case that maybe once a month, one of them will perform a little better than the others. It'll get a few hundred views. It may even get over 1,000 views. Every 30 days, you need to find that video and you need to turn that video into an ad, and not a very expensive ad either. You take the video, you create a meta ad, and you only want to put $1 to $5 a day behind it. That's all you need. What it's going to do, and you can control, okay, I only want to show it to Kansas City, or only want to show it to this or to this, whatever it is. But that's going to get it in front of thousands more people, like depending on how much you're spending for not a lot of money. And that's really important because you have new people who discover you, you're building your impressions. But later, when you actually want to run Facebook ads, you can target people who have watched your videos. And that's where it really gets special. That's where you really start to grow. That's where you really start to get a lot of new customers to come your way. It takes a little while to build this up, but you can run an ad and, hey, people who watch 75% of this video, those are the only people I want to see the ad. Then you're not running to cold traffic and your lead quality is way higher. Because I think a mistake that people make with Facebook ads is they just run ads to cold traffic and then the lead quality is super low. It's the lowest out of every other platform. And so this is a super easy way to improve your lead quality in the future and also grow how many people follow you and how many impressions you make. But that's really the whole loop here. That's really the entire loop. But it all starts with sitting down, getting on camera, doing that 30 minutes, getting it produced and getting it out there. But there's so much you can do with this video. And it works for you the whole month. And it only took you about 2 hours of work. That's really all I have for the work, because the rest here are just notes. But I just want to leave you with saying that you're not going to see a crazy wave come your way at the beginning. But like I said, unless you have an audience built in or you've already grown, even if a bunch of people, it's still hard to get this thing off the ground at the beginning. But you have to stay the course. You have to be consistent because the algorithm rewards consistency. This organization of what we talked about here, that's the best I've seen to stay consistent, especially as a busy business owner who's doing a lot, who's always trying to think about what to do. And this is the most consistent system that I've seen. I don't know everything, and I'm also going on this journey too, but this has been really great. And we're starting to see the return from this investment that we've done. Definitely download this workbook, fill it out. And I'm excited. I'm excited to actually see what you all can produce from this. I want to see you all's YouTube channel. I want to see the clips. Definitely go out there and get it done. But you'll be thanking yourself by the end of this year if you can stay consistent on this. It's so cool. Let me go ahead. Yeah, feel free.
Okay. I was just thinking, so how do you think this would affect a local business like mine? I train locally because I was thinking about doing a YouTube channel where I was like teaching people how to train dog, like tricks and stuff, because there are dog trainers that do that. But I was wondering what your thoughts were on getting leads through that.
It works especially well for local. The trust, it's all about building the trust factor. Being able to have videos, let's say you have your website. On your website, you can now have a video for each page for the services that you do. Because most websites, you go there and it's just text. There's no video. But let's say you go to Oak Park Mall And imagine if you were in Oak Park Mall and you're walking and you see a cool store and you go into the store and then it's just a bunch of signs and there's no person. So that's what's happening with websites. And so when you have a video, it's almost like you have a person there. It's okay, hey, I understand why you're here. Here's what this means. Here's what this is about. And they already put a face to the name because it's all about trust. And that's especially important now because I talked to someone yesterday morning, their HVAC company, and a lot of home services are worried about big private equity roll-ups right now. Like private equity is dumping a lot of money into these smaller companies, and they show up and they appear local, but it's actually owned by somebody in Utah or in Florida or in California. And they don't quite treat the customers the same because it's all about numbers, it's all about making money. So there's a lot of fronts that you can fight back on with video, regardless of if you're local or if you're national.
I like that a lot. I need to put videos on my website for sure.
Yeah, you can also point somebody. Let's say you talk, because you could think of it as cloning yourself. Let's say you talk to a person and that person wants to check you out. You say, oh, you can go to my YouTube channel. And that will probably get you a sale later.
Hmm.
You know, they're gonna look at all of your content, they're gonna look at all your videos and gonna say, wow, this person really knows what they're doing.
So I'm kind of doing that with blogs, not to take up too much time, but yeah, I love that idea because I'm kind of doing that with blogs, but video would be so much better. So much better.
Yeah, if you already have blogs built up, which is great, that kind of takes care of your idea planning right there. You can just say, I have a bunch of blogs. Let me just make a video per blog. That's a great way to get started.
Okay, cool. Thank you. That's a good idea.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
I already like everything you talked about. I don't know how much I told you last time we talked. I do the music. I already got the YouTube. I got the Instagram. I got the TikTok. I like your thumbnail idea with the ChatGPT. That one stuck out to me. And yeah, I think when you said the algorithm rewards consistency, that's a good one too. I've been uploading, but it's like I got to upload, like you said, once a week, twice a week. I got too much space in between my uploads. It's not hitting the algorithm. It's not getting the traction I want. So that's something I really took from that, and I need to work on.
Yeah, there's a lot of proof behind it too. On YouTube, they have that sidebar for recommended videos, and that is powered by recency. But it also looks, even if you're not subscribed to a channel, if you watched, and again, we don't have to go into all this because there's a lot to YouTube that I can talk about, but YouTube's number one metric is watch time. It's not views, it's not subscribers, it's how long did someone watch your video. And so when you put a long form piece of content out there, even if they watch it for 3 minutes, that's going to send a signal that, okay, they're interested in this, right? They'll keep recommending that person only if they're producing more content at least once a week. So they can be watching some other video or some other person's YouTube channel that's much bigger than yours. And then you'll be in the sidebar, but you only show up in that sidebar if you're producing at least once a week. So you hook one person, get one person to watch one video and stay consistent. YouTube will keep recommending you to them, trying to get them to come back to you. And this is fresh because YouTube just started promoting small creators only about a year ago. So it's a great time to start putting this out there. But yeah, consistency is key. Cool. And then David, where's your microphone? Oh yeah, we can't hear you.
I see your chat though.
Yeah, we see the chat. Okay, we hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about Juan's situation that in a funnel hacking way, in the sense that the most famous dog trainer in the world has literally hundreds, if not thousands of hours of video content out there from his television show. And I haven't looked him up on YouTube, but my guess is he's all over YouTube as well. And while you wouldn't necessarily want to copy what he does or try to steal his stuff, I think there are a lot of ideas there that where you would be able to establish credibility for yourself without giving away your secrets, for example, if that makes sense. What I do with Google Business Profile when I'm talking to a prospective client, I'll share with them all the things that should be done in their profile, right? So I'm going to give them the blueprint, but I'm not going to put the hammer in their hands. I'm not going to tell them how to swing the hammer. I'm not going to tell them how to do those things, but I will tell them what they should do. And the intent behind that is, look, if you want to take the blueprint here and do it yourself, great. I'm glad to have helped you. But if you, don't feel like that's something that you want to take on, then hire somebody, hire me, hire somebody else. Anyway, that's my philosophy with that.
Yeah, that's the truth. And I learned something similar a while ago. You want to give everything away that you can, because it does a lot for you. It demonstrates your knowledge and your expertise, but also the person that wants to go and do it themselves, that's not really your customer. That was never your customer. The customer that you want is going to be the one that says, okay, I trust this person. They sound like they know what they're talking about. I've seen all their content. I want them to do it because they understand that leveraging time is more important than trying to save money. And because that's how a lot of people get successful is they delegate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just one of those little things that you learn over time. But yeah, you want to give it all away because it's a numbers game. You need your impressions to be very high because someone will come along that says, I'd rather pay to do this.
Yeah, 3,000 impressions equals 1 lead. That's pretty crazy number.
Yeah, and if you look, like I said, I wish I had prepared the Meta Business Suite, but you can look at all of your content and your posts and see how many impressions they got. But when you hit about 3,000, you should get an inquiry. But again, that's the average across. Your number is going to be different, but that's the average across industries. But video content gets way more impressions than a post by far. And then when you boost it, that only helps out even more. But you only want to boost the ones that are actually performing well, because if it performed well with your followers you have now, it's probably going to perform well with other people when you put a little bit of money behind it, even if it was $1 a day.
Yeah, that boosting helps. I've done a bunch of boosting on my Instagram. Some of them got a couple thousand views. Some of them got 10,000 views. This is one video where I did some ad boosting on it. I didn't do it all in one go, but over a couple months, I think I only put like maybe $50 to $70 on that post, and I think it got on that feed page, and it got like 200,000 views.
Yeah, that's
cool.
awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, it's great, and it'll grow your followers. And
I have
up.
that. Did I show you that video, David, of my dog and sticking her head out the window?
Yeah.
That got 1,500 views. Should I boost that one? And if I might get an inquiry if it gets another 1,500, right? That's kind of.
Yeah, you could do that. You may. I don't know if you can change the messaging a little bit because.
Yeah.
Okay, you probably put a little bit of a call to action on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be because you've already got some good content because I've seen your page. So yeah, you're probably sitting on some gold.
Yeah,
Okay.
make sure you set the location to local if you're trying to get clients like that. With my music stuff, I can put like wherever, but I'm trying to do local too. But with your job, sounds like you're trying to teach locally. So yeah, if you do that, you want to make sure you target the city in the local city that you're in.
You boost the post, you can target too with the boosted post.
Yeah, you can target. You can choose a location. You could even choose different countries if you want to go crazy with it. But yeah, you can put the city. You can put a couple different cities if you're trying to get more customers around the country and whatnot. So yeah, you can choose.
Okay, for sure. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, David, you mentioned using the DSLR, and I'm curious to know if you're more often using a webcam today, or are you more often using your phone? What is your primary camera that you're using?
So I'm using the DSLR, but the problem was I didn't know how to get the settings to be like clear. And so I've got some clips that came out a little blurry, and I was like, I'm posting them anyway, right? Because I just needed to get them out there. But I learned how to get much better quality out of it. And that's what I use now. Now for shorts, like quick shorts, you just can walk outside and point your camera at you and just do that, and that'll be perfectly fine. But what I have right now, I'm using a webcam right now.
Yeah.
But in front of me also, I have my DSLR on like a stand. And what I do is I move my monitor out of the way so it's pointing right at me, and then I record from there. So I've got my camera hooked into my computer. So I'll just point it at me. It's positioned where I like it. The zoom is set where I like it. So you have to have, if you're using a DSLR, you have to have a space. The benefit of using your phone is you can move it wherever. You can get a cheap enough phone mount and I'm going to just sit it on this desk, or I'm going to put it here. But with a camera, you kind of have to have, this is my recording desk. So it's a little bit different. But the quality that you get out of the DSLR, I think it can be superior. There's just a lot more controls that you can do with that footage than on your phone. But your phone can do a lot.
Yeah. So when you're recording using the DSLR, do you use a teleprompter in order to stay on script, or
Yeah.
what are you using?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I actually have it right here. I took it off for the video yesterday because I just kind of went just kind of unscripted. But this is an Elgato is the brand, Elgato. And it's cool because there's a USB plug-in right here, and it plugs into your computer and it acts as a second monitor. So a picture shows up here from your computer screen, like your desktop. And there's a tool called Q Prompter, and it's just online.
Yeah.
And you can set up a teleprompter there. You can use your LLM to create a script. You can load the teleprompter. Like I said, it acts as a monitor. So you just drag the window over into this and then go full screen. And then you can hit the play button and just read. But this hooks on. They have different mounts. So this hooks on to the front of my camera lens. So I'm looking directly at the camera and the screen is mirroring the words.
Yeah.
So some videos I use teleprompter. In the how-to videos, for some of them, I just talk freely. But I've also been doing videos now and I'm kind of used to it. So I just kind of know how it sounds. But there are still some videos where I have it scripted. I'll tell you, it's way easier if it's scripted. It's way faster. You don't make as many mistakes. And then another cool thing about the script, which is crazy, in the AI tools, they have eye contact.
Yeah.
Now, you be careful because you can end up looking like you have no soul if you're not careful. But if you were veering off, let's say your teleprompter, your notes are somewhere else, if your face is facing the camera, it'll try to make it look like you are looking at the camera.
Yeah.
But teleprompter reading is a little bit of a skill. Some people can do it, some people can't. But it does make videos way easier because you just read the script and your editing there's almost no editing when you do that.
I'm trying to remember. Let's see.
But yeah, Elgato teleprompter, I think it's like maybe 150, $200, but it attaches to the front of just about any camera.
But wouldn't attach to a cell phone camera though.
They do have an app for your phone that's also a teleprompter. I can't remember the name, but I remember when I was researching this that came up. But they do have a teleprompter app for your phone that will record and read to you.
Yeah.
What I did actually, I used to mount my phone and I hung notes on a piece of tape and I read the notes. It was weird. I don't like doing it, but it worked.
Is this cold?
You were saying that you did 100K in sales because of YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm terrible. I keep forgetting. What did you sell?
Marketing services. What I did a local SEO video and then I did a Google LSA video. And the Google LSA video really took off. Like when I did that video, we probably had 5 people reach out from across the country for that video because everyone wanted to know about LSA. And when I identified that, I said, I need to do a second LSA video. I did a second one and that one got leads too. And we still get people that reach out for local SEO. And so we ended up working with a few of those people. Now, I will say the leads were good, but some of them were a mixed bag. But all in all, we ended up working with 3 people. One of them resulted in quite a bit of revenue. And then the other 2 is what made up the 100,000 over. And this was also over a period of 2 years.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't like, boom, here's 100 like right now.
You said it was LSA, and what was the other one called?
Google Business Profile, local SEO. And I've done all kinds of videos, but those 2 brought in the most inquiries. We had a few people reach out about verification because I made a video on that. Generating reviews, I made a video on that. So I tried to stay within the topic of what I do because those are all related to SEO. That's where, and I wish I didn't do it, but that's where these prompts come in handy because these will generate, let me see, where did that go? These will generate those topics and those related topics around the same idea cluster because that's what really gets people interested because it's like you're hitting multiple points of the same service. But yeah, I'm hoping that this is really useful for you because A lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff that I've learned going on this journey that you should be able to use to get support. And if you all have any specific questions, you can always reach out because I'm still on this journey, right? Like I've got almost 500 subscribers and I'm still growing. So I'm still learning. I'm always like, what are we learning? How's this going? Like, how's this growing? But you have to give it some time. It's not going to happen immediately. You have to give it some time. And so,
I'm patient. I train dogs, so I'm patient.
yeah, awesome.
David, I want to just say thank you because I think what you have gone over here today has been immensely valuable. And this is incredibly valuable. The entire workbook is fantastic. The fact that you're sharing the prompts that you use that's incredibly helpful. And just this whole thing is a fabulous tool for me to I've dabbled with some video and it's all been just me doing it, not necessarily from the seat of my pants. I've scripted it. The videos that I've done, I've scripted, and I have used, when I've done them on my phone, I have used teleprompter software. So I'm looking at the words on my phone as I'm recording. But still, this whole system that you just shared I think it's going to make things far easier to actually do this and to be consistent with it, because that's been my issue. Is I'll do a video and it takes this is before AI, right? I'll go through the scripting of it and it'll take me 3 hours to get to a point where it's like, okay, this is the one. And then I'll record it and it'll take me several takes to be comfortable with what I'm doing. And then the editing, the whole thing. And so at the end of the process, it's like I've taken an entire day and probably part of another day to do a single video. And again, this is in the pre-AI LLM days, but that has been the thing that's discouraged me from, it's like, I don't have time to devote an entire day to day and a half to create one video. And then not have the capability of clipping it and repurposing clips for additional content. So just having now been taught how to do that, it's okay. Now I feel like I've got the confidence to do it. And so the next step is to actually step into it and do it.
Yeah, it's everything you said is true. And that's how it was for me too, because on my YouTube channel, I've got long gaps where I didn't post anything because I didn't understand the process. And I've got long gaps on our social media where I didn't post, and it really does have an effect on engagement. And I just thought, man, I got to keep this moving. And who knows how many opportunities that might have been missed because I wasn't doing that. But yeah, it's all about the sequence. I will say, even with this, the hardest part is still the recording. The hardest part is still getting in front of a camera and hitting record. But that is the only hurdle you have to get by. Just try to get four of them done. After the third or fourth video, it starts to become natural.
Yeah.
You just have to get it recorded and published. Shoot, I have videos where the editing wasn't even that great and I said something twice in a row, but still got a lead. People aren't going to punish you because you don't look like a Mr. Beast or something.
Yeah.
That guy has a whole team. And it's funny, if you go to his channel and look at his very first video, it's pretty rough.
Yeah, all just webcam stuff.
Yeah, it was low quality. And that's how all of your favorite creators start that way. You go to their videos, sort by oldest, and the videos are pretty rough. They started and they kept going. It's going to get better over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I posted in the chat at some point where you were talking about that your first video, your first few videos you're going to be uncomfortable. It's not, you're going to think that they're not any good, but post them anyway. And there's this saying that I think I heard it for the first time a few years ago, but it's always in my mind. And that is, embrace the suck. You're going to suck at it for a while. Whatever it is that you're doing for the first time, you're going to suck at it. So embrace that, knowing that you're going to get better with repetition. And
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I really appreciate everybody hopping in.
I learned a lot.
I'm glad that you got something out of it. I'm going to take this video and I'm actually going to put this video on YouTube and maybe even clip it up if I can. But yeah, I'm excited. If you have any questions about any part of this, like anything in the workbook, anything about producing the content, definitely reach out. I'd love to help you just make sense of it and get a good process down. But I'm excited to see those clips. I'm excited. So yeah, definitely tag me whenever you get some stuff out there. But I appreciate you all hopping in, and I appreciate everybody's time.
I feel like I can give you my credit card and have you charge me $100 for this because they're valuable.
Yeah, free of charge. Definitely just want the information out there. Just want to share some of the cool stuff that I'm learning about on this journey. So
You have a servant's heart.
yeah, appreciate it. All right, everybody, like I said, reach out to me if you need anything or have any.
Are you gonna do anything more like this, like any other like booklets or like little seminar,
Yeah.
webinar things that are
Yeah,
different?
I'll announce another one. I'll make sure that you're on our newsletter list. We send it out every week, and I will be doing another one. I'll be doing this again either next month or the month after.
Right on.
Next one. Okay.
Awesome. All right, take care, everybody.
Thank you,
Thank you.
David. Have a great day.
Thank
You too.
Appreciate it.
All right.